Yeah. So that is what you are saying. That let me select also that we go back to what we had. Martin, you're saying that you got lost. Maybe you can unmute and explain where you're lost. We try to see if we can locate you within the. Yes. You've not downloaded. We have two data sets, right? Data cleaning 2 or data cleaning 1? Right now. This data we used last Thursday, right? When we were introducing data cleaning. So go try to identify it, and then after that we'll use that data that I just shared. Uh, this one should be practical, right? We worked with this data last Thursday. You remember, or you were not in the class? No, somebody can share the data in the. Let me see in the group so that Martin gets it. Somebody to share the data. Yeah, and that means that you did not follow through with the recording that was made. Yeah. Yes, Martin. Okay. Yeah, the code. Yes. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, the court found you guilty, Mr. Martin. So you'll need to go through all those videos and conclude. Yeah, but what you are saying is we want to look at this party column. Last time we did edit the president column because it had sentence case, others were uppercase, others were also in lowercase, maybe a name beginning in lowercase and things like that. So we rectified it, and right now this column is clean. Yeah, and then we deleted some of the things that we considered irrelevant. For example, there was another serial number that was starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we have this, so we deleted that one. And president is okay. This one we haven't talked about because maybe it we can also consider it useless depending on what we want to achieve. Yeah, maybe we are not going to use it really. So this one you can even decide to delete. Like, which analysis are we going to do with these words that we are seeing here, with this text? So maybe text that you're seeing here, right? That somebody was. So prior is just the prior position that somebody was holding. So George Washington was previously a commander in chief of the Continental Army. That was in the year 1775. John Adams, first vice president. Thomas Jefferson, second vice president. James Madison, fifth U.S. Secretary of State. I mean, this information, they are not in a particular order, or maybe there's no analysis that I deem we are going to do for us to, unless we are doing something called thematic analysis. Thematic analysis mostly deals with analysis of what do we call them? There's this kind of data set that you can do for thematic analysis. I'm just missing the name. Let me see. No, I'll get the name. I don't know why it's escaping my name, my memory. But like there's thematic analysis that we can do on this kind of data, and so we might deem it not relevant so much. So we can go ahead and even delete it, right? Delete that column. Then we have the party. So maybe there is an issue with these parties, by the way. Sometimes it can happen that there is spelling mistakes, there is data entry issues that we have here, right? And that is why we were creating the filter. Yeah. So let me go about and remove this filter first. So for you to create a filter, Oyo, yeah. Yes. Y- You can split your screen. Yeah. So for example, I don't know which Word document is this because okay. If you do this, for example, resize this so that it's yeah, resize so that it is maybe small this way and draw this to this other side. I'm just trying to and then go back and maybe resize this one. But the only problem is that it can be too tiny for you to even be able to see. Uh, so maybe this way. So you'll be maybe watching this side and then working this side. On your side. Let me see. So for you, the problem is, are you joining with your laptop only? Yeah, you can even join with the phone so that you follow through with the phone, but then you work practically on your laptop. Yeah. So first you'll also need to exit. So don't have the laptop on and also your phone inside the meeting. I mean, two devices in the meeting. So you need to live with the what? With the laptop and then join with the phone. Yeah. So what you are saying is we can create a filter around this one. Yeah, around this so that you can identify if there's any issue. For you to maybe create a filter, just go to, of course, home, and then there's sort and filter, and then create a filter here. Yeah. So if you create a filter in that party, on the party, you can see we've created filters. Even the filter has been created for even all of them. But what we are interested in is the party column. Yeah. So the party column, you can see that you have different entries here. There is Democratic, Republican, there is Whig, there is Whig. Then there's Republican and there's Republicans. It can be that this is sorry, that these are just data entry issues. For example, this Republican and then the Republicans. Whig and Whig. This can be just data entry issues. So if you notice that there are some that are similar, you can unselect and then maybe select Republicans. Select these two. Yeah, Republican and the Republicans, so that you see the issue that is there. So if we check maybe the last one here, you can see that we have one issue that is Republicans here. So we can just copy this and paste it here, and then we have rectified that, right? Save, and then maybe go back again and look at the wig that we had. So you can see now we only have Republican has been selected. So we can select again wig and wig and see the issue. And then if you check here, there is one entry for John Tyler. Is So we can also copy this one again and just paste it there. Yeah. So why I am why I am copying and not writing, maybe there could be issues like extra spaces and things like that, right? Um, so that if I just type, or maybe there were some spaces, or while typing, I can also even introduce extra spaces by mistake. So you just copy what is there, control copy and control V. Yeah. So that it copies the format of the previous wig that we had. So that one you can now go down and see that we only have Whig. So we have Whig, Republican, non-partisan, Federalist, Democratic Republican, and then we have the Democratic. Yeah. Okay. And so we can select all of them again and see that our data is okay now. I don't know where this ref is coming from. Oh, proper. Okay, I believe maybe this one was when we were changing these sentence cases so that it becomes proper. So this one we can just delete or clear the contents. Yeah, so we can go back and maybe remove the filter. What else have we not done? Yeah, maybe on the dates. On the dates, you can see the dates are different. There's Wednesday, July 2021, and then there's this one. This one, the short date format. This one is more or less long date format. Yeah? So we can change them. They're general, while we can have them as date. You can have them as a short date. Yeah, now you can see that it's 7/14/2021. I don't know what's happening with my voice today. It might be no, never mind. Yeah. So we have serial number. Of course, this one now becomes the unique identifier. George Washington, non-partisan, John Adams. Now we have even the salary that we are having here. And this data is basically now clean, depending on what you want to achieve. Yeah. Sometimes maybe what we want to achieve doesn't need to involve the vice president, so we might need to even delete that, right? Yeah. But there are some key important things like this serial number, which is the unique identifier. That is very key. Um, yeah. Anything else that has not been covered here? Yeah. In some in some cases, you may need to change this to change the to change this to maybe general. So, for example, maybe you want to take this data to SQL, the standard query language. You might not need to have them in terms of dollars because there are tools that does not understand what this dollar is the same way maybe Excel does. Yeah, Excel understand that this dollar is a currency, and maybe if you take this same data into something like SQL, then it may not clearly understand what the dollar is, and so the the manipulations that you want to do may not happen, right? The manipulations that you want to do may not may not happen, right? So you may need to even change this one to from text to maybe even general, right? So that it becomes this way. I mean, sometimes it do happen. Yes, but if you are really confident that maybe you're going to just use it in maybe just Excel peke yake, then you can just leave it that way and then say that this one, the cleaning is done. Anybody with a question? Or was that too much ranting? Anybody with a question? Yeah. What you also need to understand, of course, we had even mentioned this last time, is that there is no clear format of cleaning data. There will be never a one size one size fits it all for data cleaning, right? So it's for you to basically identify maybe um, what are the issues that I can see, that I can clearly see. And that is why when we are doing the first cleaning, or maybe trying to identify the issues, we or maybe I ask you to maybe just tell me what you can see, any problem that you can see. So when you want to do data cleaning, first you just walk through the data that you are working with, and try to spot any issues, and also look at it with they always call it what, an eagle's eye. Yeah, an eagle's eye kind of. So you don't just look it with the open eye. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a question in the chat that for vice column, how do you correct the spacing problem? Vice column. Oh, did you change any spacing column? Yeah, that one you can do with the function called trim, and we worked with it. So maybe you can create an insert a space here and see. So you can just write maybe is equaling to trim. So trim function is really important when doing data cleaning. I want to try another one here if it will identify. It's called flash fill. Um, so this one is called trim. So we want to trim this one. So non-partisan, so that we double click and you can see that Republican, there is an extra space that has been cleaned. Yeah. Brianna Bior, you can see now what you need to do. So after this, you can copy all this data, right? And come and paste it here. Paste, but then paste 1, 2, 3. If you control plus V, you will even paste the formula. But maybe that one you don't need. For vice column, how do you correct the spacing? So the same thing that I've done to party here, that is what you can do to the vice. Yeah. So if you wanted to create a space, you just if you wanted to create a space, you just um, insert here, and then you can now go ahead and use the trim function. Um, any question? If we are okay, then we can go to the next one. Yeah, I believe this one is now okay, right? So let's work with this one. Similar to last time. What are some of the issues that you're seeing with this data? It is up to number 277. That means 276 people. Put up your hand and tell me if there is any issue you're seeing. This one is not random. Don't type in the comment section. Any issue? Let me call out. That is the power that Bounty Analytic has given me. Let me call somebody called, let's see, Odhiambo Michael. What issue are you seeing with the data that we are having here? The formatting of the date, yeah, there's formatting of the date, and then there is some of the gender columns are not listed. So basically, they are missing values. Yeah, the one Michael you're saying is when you're joining the class. Okay, concentrate. Um, Somebody else? Let me check. Sarah Narome. Sarah somebody. Sarah Namarome. If you're speaking, your microphone is on mute. Sarah Namarome. Sarah is not speaking. The last person is Aiga. Any issue? Yeah, missing data and the salary. Yeah, you can see a missing data there. There is also this seeing some missing data. Yes, Alan Soita. Different date format. Yeah, different date format. Yeah, that is one of the issues. Yeah, those are some of the things that you can see. And even if you look at it, employee ID, yeah, you can see also employee ID out there. I mean, it's not a unclean data, but what I'm saying is you can identify a pattern with the employee data, right? Employee ID. That the ID is PR is probably the name of the department. You can see PR, SQ, VT, TN. Yeah, there's TN again here, VT again, SQ, TN, and then there is now 5 digits: 00147, 04686. There's now 5 digits, which can be, I don't know, employee number or something. Yeah, so it's a department plus employee number. And then you can see also names are two, gender, it's male and female. So if you want to see the levels, of course, you can do another filter here. Yeah. Huh. Sorry, I've done the incorrect filter. Yeah, so you click on the header and then filter, and then you can see now the filter drop down has popped up. So you can see that there's female and male, right? If you go to, maybe, of course, names, you cannot have a filter for names because there are so many people in that names, whatever. Employee ID, you also can't. Employee type, yeah, now this one you can also see people are employed, maybe fixed term, permanent, temporary. I mean, when having a look at data, you first have to just understand basic information about it, right? You can even check maybe the department. How many departments are there? Yeah, there's training, support, services. You just see, because even from looking at the data, what do we call, doing that filter, you may see issues that even are coming up with when entering that data. So, for example, that time when we had Republican and Republicans, yeah, it is now an issue that you can identify easily with maybe filtering. So you don't filter that you want to remove data, but just filtering that you want to understand. Maybe fixed term, instead of writing permanent, somebody writes permanent or something. So it becomes part of yeah. I believe you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. Um. So there are things that you can even do with this data, and let us have a look at it. Uh, there's a problem. Yeah. So suppose we want to understand. So if you see FTE, it means that full-time employee. Is it full-time? Yeah. So are you employed? If you're employed full-time, maybe it's 1. If you're employed part-time, it's 0.7, right? Or maybe less than 1 means that you're employed part-time. But if it is 1, it means that you're employed full-time, full-time, right? Let's first even remove this one. Yeah, there's a function called if. So for example, we want to identify if somebody is employed full-time or permanent, full-time or part-time, right? So let's look at this and write maybe full stroke part. These are things that you may want to do, and write a function, yeah, if. So is equaling to if. So what is the logical test, right? So if G2. So how are we going to write the this function? So if logical test value if true, value if false. So what is our logical test? So value if true is 1. Are we writing 1 or full time? There's something I'm missing here. Control Z. Yeah, somebody to write the if function that we are going to identify if somebody is employed permanent or somebody is employed part time. So that should be if G2 equals 1. So that is so if G2 so equals 1. So you're saying if G2 uh-huh. Okay, yeah, just continue. Uh-huh. Comma, not permanent but full time. What is this? Okay, here. So if G2 full time and so this is value if true. Yeah, so part time. Yeah, this makes sense. Or part time. Yeah, so that is if it is fully equaling to 1. But you can also write it the opposite way if it is less than 1, then full time. If sorry, this one is going to be reversed. Part time. Then this one is going to be full time. And then let's see. Yeah, so it's telling you that it's full time. So you can go and identify that if somebody is 0.8, then it means part time, 0.7, 0.9. I mean, these are formulas that we did not look at if. We looked at the versions of ifs with the sums and the rest. Something else is called flash fill. I wanted to do it to try it out on that other data set, but let me see if it is going to identify. So suppose we want to pick the first the first name or maybe let me say last name of a client. I just want to see if it is working. Ricard dot next should be on no, it's not identifying it. Spraberry. Yeah, there's something called flash fill. Can somebody try to write and see if Excel is going to understand what we are trying to do? You don't really need to mention or maybe tag this column. Minerva. If yours is working, you can say hi, right? Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, it's because maybe I used the last one. Aiga. Yeah, so instead of last name, let us use first name. Yeah, try writing first name. It is something called flash fill, and I want to talk about the disadvantage of flash fill at Flash. So Minerva, and then we have on Minerva on. It has stopped working. Then next you go to Mike. Yeah, now you can see what is happening here. Freddie, Mackenzie. It has identified that I'm picking the last word, the first name of the second column, right? So if you do an enter, it copies all of them up to the end. So that is a function called flash fill, yeah, or maybe something called flash fill in Excel. Have you been able to? No, it's not really a function, but it's something that Excel is able to identify a certain pattern. Who has not been able to find that, or maybe to do that? So, Aiga, you've not been able to do it. Can you maybe ask a question, or so Winnie, your hand is also up. Say something, Aiga and Winnie. Okay. And Winnie? Ah, okay. So we delete all this and then start um, a new rant. So delete. So what we are doing is just walking around this data. We have not started filling in issues. For example, these ones, these blanks that we are having here. What you're just doing is looking at what you can do with this data, right? There's not so much dirtiness or maybe untidiness in this data as compared to the one that we used. So we want to see also to understand whether somebody is a full-time employee or a part-time employee. But how we'll be able to identify that is using this column of FTE, full-time employment, or full-time employee, or maybe, oh, yeah, something of that sort. So there's a function that is called if. If we did not use it when we are talking about the functions, so what is the logical test? We want to check if G is equaling to 1. So, uh, so you can see here logical test, and then you can see value if true and value if false. So if G2 is equaling to 1, what should we refer to that value, right? If it is true, if G2 is true, how should we call that scenario, right? And that means that we can call it that if G2 is equaling to 1, then this person is employed full time. But when writing that full time, it has to be in quotes, right? Because Excel doesn't understand, or maybe you'll get an error. Sorry. So for this string kind of data, you have to write them in quotes, and this one will be so this is value if false. If G2 is not equaling to 1, then it means that this person is employed part-time, right? And then you have to finish by closing the bracket. So you'll see that this person is employed, the first person is employed full-time. You go to number 8, 0.8 is employed part-time, right? Somebody is having 0.8, 0.7, 0.4, that is also part-time, right? Bethlehem, your hand is up. So this is the answer that we got. You go to this corner, double click. Okay. Yeah, so if you double click it, of course, it will go up to the last one that we had, which is number 277 full time. Yeah. So are we together in that, Aiga and Winnie? Mm. Mhm. Okay. Um, something else is so this is full time. Next, we are supposed to look at what are we doing? Oh, flash fill. Yeah, maybe let's. I don't know why it is not working with the second name because we only have two names here. Let's see if it's so first name. So first name. So first name is Minerva. So we want to see if Excel is able to identify a pattern of what we are copying. So here we are writing Minerva number one. Next we are writing honor. I don't know, it's honor or honor. Yeah, and now you can see there's a suggestion that Excel is giving us. Jessica, Lena, Billy, Cletus, Evangelina, or somebody. Okay. Yeah. So if you just click on enter, you'll see that it has filled for us the first names. Let's try second name and see if it's going to identify or last name. Last name is Ricardot. Ricardot Donan. Yeah, you can also see Ricardot Donan, whatever, up to the end. Now the problem with this is that this is called flash filling, but it is manual. What manual means is if we change a name here, this one is not going to change. So you have to go back and again do like um, try to fill it in again, right? Which is really not the correct thing that you really want to do. Because it's manual, so it is not linked to this one. It's not like something like Trim, which is automated, so that if we introduce a space here and then we add a trim function somewhere here, it is going to automatically trim it again, right? Yeah. So this one is if let me add here like maybe somebody like who I'm seeing there's Beverly. So Beverly and Ricardot. You can see that there's Minerva still, right? Minerva Ricardot. There's Honor and all that, right? Yeah. So it is manual. That is what we are saying. Uh, this one was Minerva. Yeah. Winnie, are you okay? Yeah, that is what we call flash filling. Another thing that we may want to have a look at here is now we go back to sorry, is somebody speaking? Yes. Does it have? Sorry? We are not able to hear you. That echo is there because you joined with the two devices. Yeah. Yeah. No, have you started typing maybe in the same line? So, for example, if we have a Minerva here and you've started typing by this side, uh-huh. Yeah. And it's not working. Yeah, I may not know like what the issue is because this is something that just Excel tries to identify by itself that there is a certain pattern. Even if we try to do it with something like remote here, it will also let's try to see. This is work location. I'd call it maybe something like city. Let's see if we start writing remote and then Seattle. Yeah, you can see from yes, sorry, Seattle. No, for this one, it's thinking that we are copying this. Let me do an enter. Yeah, of course, yeah. This one, it's thinking that you're just copying, but you can try to. You can see that it is identifying a certain pattern that we are flash filling. I mean, okay. What's your version? It should be working because mine is also working. Yeah, but we can also as well do a search and tell maybe Google or a Stack Overflow that my flash fill is not working. Uh, uh-huh. Yeah. So next thing, I want you to do for me something. I want you people to to do what? So if you look at employee ID, it is made up of two things. So you can think of PR and VT and all those things as they are not department, by the way. You can call them what? What can we call them? The PRs, the SQs, and the TNs and the VT. Because for the 00147, we can maybe call them employee number, right? Yeah, so if you are number 147 and somebody is number 4598, probably 147 joined way earlier than 4598 or 04598. So this SQ, maybe just call it department. But what I want you to do is to separate for me this column into two things. Kindly separate this one into two things, this column into two things, so that it has employee, maybe employee ID, and not really employee ID, employee number, and it has something like um, department. Just call it department. I mean, try to think of any random name that you can give the PRs. The PR, the SQ, the SQ, the VT. Do that in 1 minute. So you can use this side yenye tuko nayo hapa. So use this and then use a formula. Right? In 1 minute. I want you people to separate this column into two columns. I want you to separate it into, call it something, don't call it, you can call it debt so that it becomes different from this department. Excel will not save that name if there's department here again. So separate this column into two columns. Column number one, the department, and column number two, employee number. Because if you can see, there's PR, then there's a 5-digit. So this employee ID is made up of 7 letters, or maybe 7 digits, or 7 characters. The first 2 characters, we are assuming maybe represent department, and the last 5 characters represent employee number. So separate it, split it. I mean, split the column. Split that column into two. So you have 1 minute to do that. And I'll be picking at random for somebody to do that. And you'll share your screen with us. Okay? I'm waiting for to pick somebody. Yeah. Uh, Very fast, we are ready to something else. Discard. Let me call on who is done, by the way. If you're done, thumbs up. And the next thing that you should not do is to be afraid. Alvin Oyonga is done. Uh-huh. Somebody else? ICDL Center David. There is David Kabute. Martin Chepsos. Ladies, what is happening with Winnie? Winnie is done. Alice is done. Okay. Now let's give Alice Kalunde to do that for us. Alice, fly away. Should we give you the screen to share? And if you're speaking, your microphone is on mute. Alice. Alice, Alice.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute my microphone. Um, yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah, let me stop. Let me stop sharing. So that is stop presenting. Now you can present and share us what you've done.
Gosh, user challenges. Yeah, here we go. So you said we split it into two. So I've decided to do the letters and the numbers kando.
Yeah.
So the first one I named code. So I did left. So I picked the first two letters, and then right I picked the last five numbers.
Yeah. Who else did that? I mean, there can be some people who did not understand. Somebody who did something different. Winnie.
I did text the column.
Yeah, yeah. There's that one. You can also stop presenting Alice. There's that text to column that can also be used to separate the columns. Yeah, present your screen, Winnie.
I'm actually in transit. I won't be able to do that, but maybe I can explain as you do it.
Yeah, uko kwa Spametro ama uko kwa Umoina? Let's see. So employee ID. So,
Yeah, and when you copy, then Apple cut okay, next project.
sorry. Oh, I'm not sharing. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay. Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, we have employee ID.
the whole of it, column A. Then insert, I want you to insert it like hapo kando, just create another, insert another two columns. And another one.
How should I name it?
Yeah, I named it mine. The first one is DPT, department.
Sorry? DPT.
DPT.
And this
Okay,
one?
and then the other one is employee number. The second one, insert another one.
Yeah, this one actually was actually the one I inserted.
So I need another clean sheet there.
Okay. Let me clear the contents.
Employee number. Alright, then now I go to highlight sheet column A, sorry. Then now go to their data, text, then text to column. Okay, then I use fixed width. Alright, then sorry, no, use the limit, whatever, the first one, sorry. Then next.
Okay.
I can't see what you're doing.
Next.
No, rudi nyuma, back.
Fixed
width. Next. Then drag hii hapo mpaka where the initials and the
yeah, that is.
Then text. Highlight the two.
Sorry?
The two. You need to control.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Control, then highlight the two. Both. That and that. Control them.
Why is it not working for me? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not. It is not control. It is you do a shift.
Shift. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then finish.
There is already data there.
Okay.
That is because sorry?
Click OK.
You can even replace it and delete this one.
Yeah.
Then you rename this to employee number. Or emp number. Then this one you can have it as maybe debt. Yeah, this is also another way of but for those who are maybe confused on how to drag and and drop and highlight, if somebody has not understood that, hands up or thumbs up. Raban is one of them. Alan hasn't, Vintain, Kadi, Sharon, Jonah. Okay. Yeah, so Control Z. This is another one that we did not use. Yeah, so you can highlight that and go to the, so we were initially at home and go to data, and then you'll find text to columns. So you basically want to convert the text that are inside here to new columns. Yeah, it's splitting it, I mean. So click the text to column and maybe it is delimited. So if it is separated by comma or spaces or something, so for example, you want to separate this one, and then you go to data and then text to column, you can see that this one is delimited by, is it comma or a space, right? Delimited or maybe fixed width are aligned in columns with spaces between each field or something, right? So it can be delimited characters such as commas or tabs to separate each field, or even something like maybe work location. So instead of using maybe what we did for right and left, you can also use text to column, right? And then sorry, we have used it should be so fixed width. So next, and then to create a break line, click at the desired position. To delete a break line, double click on the line. To move a break line, click and drag it, right? So we want to have it at number, so PR then 2, right? So you can look at where to place your line. So maybe just click anywhere within this and then drag the line up to maybe number 2. So you can see this is the line. So for you to delete a break line, double click on the line, right? So you just place your cursor on the line and double click and then it's gone. Yeah, so we want it there. If you wanted 3, we could put it inside here. But now we want just the 2. And then now you can highlight all of them. So you click on shift and then click on the other one that has not been highlighted, and then we have text. So general converts numeric values to numbers, date values to dates, and all remaining values to text. So if you wanted to convert it to maybe date, we could use maybe something different. But now we want to convert them just as text. There is already data there. Do you want to replace? Okay. And then save the things that you had. So this may be called as used by Alice, and this is employee number. So that is emp number. Yep. Are we now okay? Alan, your hand is up. Similar to Raban. Yeah. Yeah. So here, so the hours is fixed. Okay, next. What I was doing was just to read out what has been written here. That if you want to create a break line is what we've done by dragging up to PRSQ, right? Then to delete a break line, double click on the line. To move a break line, click and drag it. Yeah. So to create a break line, to delete a break line, to move a break line, and then you can click anywhere. Let me see if you can click from the other side. So for you to delete this, you just double click it. Yeah, you can click anywhere and start dragging your line. Because now we have multiple lines here, which doesn't make sense. So double clicking, and now we'll have, so you can click anywhere and drag. So drag it maybe to here, and then you have it there. So Alan, I hope you're not lost. Are you there? Up to this point where we've created the line. Alan, you're speaking on a muted mic. Yeah, so if you do that, then you click on next, and then click on shift and highlight this other part. If you click on one of them, itakuwa inacheza azonto na wewe. So click on shift, and then you have to check this text box, and then you finish your, there's already data there. Continue and do the thing. Okay, that's it. So what remains is for you to maybe rename this one, just as we had been doing. Are we together? Thumbs up if we are. Yeah, Martin, Vintain, Sharon, Jonah, Waiganji, Raban. Yeah, Bethel, your hand is up.
Yes, mine did bring the zeros. Um, where the employer number starts with 0, it did bring the 0.
What did it bring?
It just printed the rest of the numbers, but not the 0.
What does your employee, the first column, what does it have?
It has the letters before the numbers.
It has PRO ama PR peke yake. Ah. Uh-huh. Oh, so you just have PR. There's no PRO or SQO or something. This one is zero. So this one is the first ones are letters, two letters, and then these ones are five numbers. So there's 00147. So yours has written it as 147. Should that be a formatting issue somewhere here? There should be a formatting issue. Or did you check this box? Maybe you can just follow through and so we do a fixed. So follow through fixed width, right? Fixed width, and then next you can click anywhere and create a that line and bring it up to maybe the at the end of the two letters, right? PR, and then next. If you left it here general, then I think maybe that should be the issue. So have it at text and then finish and then okay. Iko sawa? Yeah, so we've looked at flash filling. I wanted us to look at duplicates, but we did duplicates last time. And I want us to do Power Query. I believe maybe some of you have heard of Power Query or some of you haven't heard of Power Query. And we want to look at Power Query to do whatever it is that we've done right now, right? The only problem is that I did not copy this data because I should have copied it. Yeah. So whatever we've done, I believe you've seen. So let me just Control Z and go back to how it was initially. Yeah, so this is how it was. I want to even delete these ones. Clear contents. Then we go to, yeah, so let me save it this way, hoping that there's nothing that you've messed with. Let's go to data. So if you're here in data, we can click on there's something that is telling that get and transform. So within the data ribbon or the data tab, there's get and transform. New query, you can check on new query from maybe query options, data, wherever, from file. But what I want you to click is maybe from table. Click on from table. So if you click there from table, Excel will identify your table, this table that you are working with, will identify that there's a data that we are working with, and we'll try to create a table around it. Let's see. So our table is here up to I. So you can see that it has identified. For those who have not understood what we are doing, pengine you are at home and we want you to go to data and then click on from table because we want to go to Power Query. So click on from table. We want to discard this one. Discard. Yeah. So go to from table and click on what is wrong with we couldn't find Excel name dirty data. Discard. Click on from table. I don't know what is telling me here from recent sources. They're not recent sources. Close. Ah, there's an issue. We couldn't find an Excel table named data filter database. Keep or discard. Keep. So let me delete this one and see. Yeah. So let me see from table. I don't know why this thing is coming here, and it should not be anything that you're looking at. That data. Uh-huh. Let me first try deleting these ones and see why my Power Query is not working. Yeah, but I believe on your end it should be working. And click on uh, click on, go to this and then click on data and then from table, right? If you click on from table, is it taking you to Power Query? Yeah, mine. That I'm trying to understand why mine is still giving me some problems here. Expression, we couldn't find Excel table named dirty data. Okay, let me see the name of my Excel table. So let me first insert a table and so my table should be ending here and then insert table. Okay, and then call it maybe dirty data. Dirty data. Doesn't include a space or character, that isn't allowed. So dirty data. Yeah. So let me try if it's working because this one is, yeah. Okay, now it's okay. So what I wanted us to do is all those things that we've done. Is anybody having the same challenge I was having? Put up your hand if you have any problem accessing Power Query. Alvin Oyonga, Alan Soita. Anybody else? Vintain, Martin Chepchos, Kibet. Alvin, what is your problem? Unmute and tell us. Hey, and six more. So, I'm getting the error that you are getting the expression. Okay. Alvin is getting the same error. Alvin. Martin, what is your issue? Martin, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, Martin is not speaking. Wema, what's your issue? Let me see. You can't see this one. What are you able to see? Under the get and transform. Can you look at it maybe under new query here and try to see if you can find the table from table or something? Sorry? Okay. Odhiambo, what's your issue? Yes?
I got a clear table. Let me do whatever what you have ordered the lady to
Okay. Somebody's Sharon, your hand was up, right? Sharon Nyamaya.
Yes, is it the same from table stroke range? Because mine is,
Yours also doesn't have from table.
it is same from table stroke range.
Yeah, you can click on that. Somebody else who is having a problem. Oh yeah, so Alvin, yours is having this problem. So what you need to do is, yeah, Alan, what's your question?
I had the same problem. Hi.
Yeah, but have
After,
you?
after to select, then insert table,
Hmm.
wanaletea ile where is the data for your table.
But it has highlighted it for you, right? Just click OK. So for those who are having that similar problem, what I did was to copy the whole table, that not really copy. I'm a highlight where my data is supposed to be appearing up to. So for example, this one is ending up to 277. So what you do is to go to insert and then table. Mine is now grayed out because this one is already a table, right? So go to insert and then create table. After that, go to design and maybe change the name of that table to, mine is supposed to be dirty data, but I couldn't write it this way because there was that issue inside Power Query. So come to table name and then instead of writing it dirty data this way, have an underscore between dirty and data, right? Have you done that, Alvin? Yeah, I mean, let's continue. For those who maybe are not able to see that, you'll follow through towards the end. But if you're able to change this into a table and then change the table name, that one is okay. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is, so inside here, this is where we want to do our power querying and all that. So it's asking us that where is the data in your table? SK13? No, cancel. Yeah, this one is also going to ask us something. Yeah, here. So this is Power Query. So for those who have engaged with Power BI, you'll be able to know that, or maybe notice similarity between Power Query. I mean, that is just the same thing that is inside Power BI. So there are things that you have to know here, right? You can see that maybe here this is the data name, the name of our table, which is dirty data, right? Here, applied steps, you will be able to see everything that you've done. For example, automatically, Power Query did for us change the type, the data types that we have here. So what I mean by data type is sometimes maybe gender is supposed to be a text data, but then we saved it as so gender is supposed to be a text data or maybe a string data type, and then we saved it as numerical data. Or maybe date is supposed to be date, but then we saved it as numbers, numerical or text, right? And even you can see there's different formats for different dates inside here. That is also one of the issue that is happening here. Yeah. So what did we do? We we changed, or maybe we wrote some if functions, right? Let me first even change this, remove this change data type here. Yeah. So we have something like maybe name is okay. Gender is okay. So gender, the only problem we are having with gender is that they are null, right? We may want to replace these things. Yeah. you can see replace values. If you right click, can you right click on gender? Then replace values. Yeah. So value to find. Which value is it going to find? Blank. What are we replacing it with? We can replace it with maybe other. Match entire cell contents. Then if we click OK, okay, no, it is written as null. I've left it as a space. Let's see. So cancel first and then maybe replace this value. So let's replace value. So value to find is null. I believe that should be working. And then we're gonna replace it with other. Entire cell contents. Yeah, you can see now those ones which were written as other, which were written as null, has been saved and changed to other. So you can see that we also had another place, any empty place again. Number 69 was also empty. Number 75. We also have number 84. We also have another one. I mean, there's even number 153 and also number, these are the others ahead. Yeah. So that is replacing values, replacing missing values. You can replace by maybe other, you can replace the way you want. Sometimes maybe you even wanted to replace them with 0 so that it is easy for you to identify that this one was a missing value, right? If you look at maybe employee ID, we tried splitting them using the text to column, and we also used the right and the left, right? You can also come here and see that you can split column. Split column. So you can split a column by number of characters or by delimiter. So here we want to split it by number of characters. Specify the number of characters you used to split the text column. So maybe we want to split it with 5. So 5, then here I choose ones as far right as possible. Then click here OK. So you can see that it has splitted it. Oh, but then the only problem is now it is writing it as 0, 0. Yeah, which is basically okay. There's no problem again with that. 147, 4686, and then 46. That one I believe should not be okay. But that is how to split Nini, because right now it is omitting the 0 zeros that we had. The 00147 that we had. So after doing that splitting, you can maybe change the names of this column. So for example, maybe this one we change it to employee number. There is also a kind of splitting called conditional. Conditional. Let me try to remember it and tell you that. So there is employee ID. This one you can call it maybe even code, right? So that one we've done the splitting that way. Yeah. So suppose you wanted to split the name. So this one we have looked at the ones splitting by number of characters. This one you can split when by delimiter. So here we are splitting by delimiter. By that time we did a split by number of characters. Now we split by delimiter. So is it comma? Is it a colon? Is it an equal sign, space? So this one is the delimiter here is a space, right? So by space, so space, and then at each occurrence of the delimiter. If you write at each occurrence of the delimiter, means that if somebody had 3 names, then we are going to split it into 3 columns. Anytime that delimiter occurs, we split. If somebody we wrote maybe 6 names for maybe Martin, Kipchepchos, Kipchumba, Murkomen 4, and then somebody we gave him just one name, still it is going to be, we are going to split that column after every occurrence of that delimiter. So if we have 3 commas, then it means that we are going to separate them into 4 columns, right? And if you have 5 commas, it means you are going to separate them into 4 columns. 4 or 5, 4 or 6, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, so you can choose maybe at the leftmost delimiter. Leftmost delimiter means if we have 4 commas, then we are just going to split that the columns just once, because the leftmost, we're going to pick the values that are before the leftmost delimiter and then leave the rest. Yeah, but if we click at each occurrence, every time we meet that comma, or maybe we meet that space, or we meet that colon, we separate those values. Yeah, so you can click on OK. Yeah, so you can see here there's a problem that has happened somewhere. So our data seems to be having some extra spaces or something. Yeah, because you can see maybe name 3, null, Brookshaw. So Lena, so this Lena had a space before it. This Lena that you're seeing here, it had a space before it before we started. I mean, when we were doing data entry, for example, Lena Brookshaw, we clicked on the space, the space bar, and then started writing Lena. And that is why Lena is bringing maybe some issues similar to Win, similar to who else? I mean, there's quite a number that maybe somebody like Althea Bronga. Althea Bronga also, when we are writing Althea and then Bronga, there's an extra space that we included, and that's why we are having 3 names, right? Yeah, so maybe you can, so for us to, here we are not doing Control Z. Here we are doing, you don't Control Z for you to maybe undo whatever you did. So you can see here there is applied steps. So we can click on this X, right? So that we go a step backward from what we did. But again, one thing that you'll understand is that you cannot undo a step here. So for example, you click this changed data type, right? We go sequentially. So we start with this, the last step that we did going up. You don't start with like the first step that you did. If you click that, you're seeing, are you sure you want to delete this step? Deleting this step may affect subsequent steps, which could cause your query to break. So cancel. So you start with, you go back from this one, and then split column by delimiter. Yeah, now you can see we are back to where we are. So there, you can see that there's Lena. Lena here has a space before it. So that is why we were having issues with the Lena and the likes of Win and Trigger and whatever. Yeah. Another thing else, you can see here we are having issue with our date. Yeah. You can see our dates are, I'm just trying to see the selections that you're having here. But if you notice, the structure of this date is different from the structure of the first date, right? So how do you change that? How do you change the data type? So you can change this one, this data type, we can change by right clicking and then click on change type. So we can put it as date or date time or time, date time zone. So we can just use maybe date. So if you use date, you can see what is happening, right? Salary. Suppose maybe salary, we wanted maybe to change it in, though we can just work with salary the way it is. I had mentioned that one issue, that Excel is the only one that maybe understands this, the currencies that we have here. So if we are using something like SQL, it might not really understand what you're talking about. Another thing, we have null. So probably null within the department means this person no longer works here, right? And we may need to let them go. right? Yeah. So you can do maybe a highlight all of them and select all and then click on null. Okay. And then you can decide to delete these ones, right? You can decide that maybe all these things that you have here now, you can you may want to delete them, right? If you want to. If it means that maybe having null within a department means that somebody is not there, has already stopped working with us, then you can go ahead and clear them. Sometimes, what else? What else are we maybe talking about? Um, I'm trying to just look at something else that we can do. Yeah. So Diambo Michael is putting up his hand. Sorry. Michael, I'm not able to get what you're saying. I'm not. You can type on the chat so that we are able to get you. Somebody else with a question? Maybe whatever we've done up to now, because we want to do something else. Whatever we've done up to now, are we understanding or maybe are we following through? If you're following through, thumbs up. If you are confused, thumbs down. So I want to pick those who are following through and then those who are confused so that we repeat what we've done. There is no thumbs, either up or down. Hello? Okay. Winnie? Winnie? Bethel? Uh-huh. How about Rab? Are you able to get me? Because I'm not seeing you people reacting, or unless my laptop has disconnected. Presenting. You lost your network connection. Yeah. Wi-Fi imeenda. Yeah, so there's a problem with the internet. 11? Yeah, sorry for the disruption with the electricity and internet. Yeah, I believe it's being sorted out. Yeah, so we left at a point where I was asking if somebody had any issue with what you are doing. What is understanding what we are doing. So I just want to understand if that is the case, if we are all together.